Well, it looks like Xbox is taking more games for Game Pass. Outriders is coming to Game Pass, and we're going to talk about this and give you the breakdown right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Assemble. I'm Matt. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy Tuesday, it is? Sure. Hope you're doing well. It's good to see you. It's good to have you here. It's been a busy week. We just launched our Patreon, patreon.com/assemble show. I'm very excited to be able to have announced that. Go check that out. Link in the description below if you guys want to check it out. We also got our whole welcome video that just posted yesterday, and I'm very, very excited to be able to start up with all of you on Patreon. It's a really, really awesome feeling, and I'm excited to create more. So Outriders, a looter shooter, Destiny light game that is scheduled to come out April 1st. And what we just got news of yesterday is that Outriders is now going to be coming to Game Pass day one. What do you all think of this? We just went through everything with Bethesda. We just did an episode the other day just talking very hypothetically about, down the road, if they were to acquire something like Sega or Konami down the road, just rumors, just guessing, just having some fun. But now we're getting this title by Square Enix, Outriders. The looter shooter game that is going to be looking at a Destiny style gameplay, where we've seen tons of previews and demos so far of this game, and it has my attention. This is the interesting piece with Game Pass though. As it has now been announced officially by Microsoft that Outriders is coming to Game Pass April 1st, I have to say that this is surprising and also exciting for a game like Outriders. If we have Outriders on its own across all platforms, across, mobile, PC, and console as it is advertised for, do you think that it would have had the same traction, care, attention if it was just doing its own thing? Now, we haven't released yet, obviously, so the numbers are going to speak for themselves once it actually comes to the launch date. But if it was on its own, do you think Outriders would be that game that everyone is kind of looking at right now, today? Or do you think that because of Game Pass and the muscle behind it, do you think Outriders now has a real shot at being a quality game, maybe even more so than it's anticipated? I think the deal with Game Pass with Microsoft is a great one for this title. This isn't Square coming exclusively under Game Pass or anything like that with Microsoft. It's one title. But what it does is that it creates this window of opportunity for titles that are, to me, kind of like fringe titles where they could be really good, but we're not too sure. And would it work really well with all the masses across all platforms? To me, Outriders looks like a very stripped down Destiny so far. And I hope I'm wrong, because I want the game to succeed. Because if it has a gameplay loop and it has a grind and gear that really is palpable, that really gets players engaged, then I'm going to be happy for it and I'm really going to enjoy the game. The shooting mechanics look good. The graphics look good, fine, good. Again, we need to see it fully playing a controller in hands to really understand the experience of this. But based on all of the demos, impressions, and everything, it seems very task oriented, go from one mission to the other. You have a mission, go to that spot, have a horde of bad guys you got to be able to fight, shoot them, grind up your character, level up your character, move on to the next checkpoint so far. And that's what seems to be all the previews and the noise going around, is that so far from what people have seen is that it is just that. It is going down to one area of a map, complete it, move on to the next mission, shoot some guys, move on to the next. And not to say that the mechanics aren't good and that there are some really cool elements in there and power-ups. I'm all interested for that. I just wonder if a game like that would not get as much love and care and attention if it was on its own. With the muscle of Game Pass, this now gets 18 million players exposed to Outriders, a brand new title that is going to pop up on their Xbox, on cloud, across all the platforms, being able to pick that up and go, sure, I'm going to download it and I'm going to give it a shot. And I think that's what Xbox and Game Pass does extremely well right now, and what's really, really attractive for smaller titles, not the AAA titles, but a title that needs to get some exposure and get some ground and work behind it, get some love and care and attention. Because a game like Outriders probably needs to build upon itself. It needs some success out of the gate upon launch, and it needs to sustain that audience to be able to grow it. If the player base drops off after a month, 2-3 months, then the game would be a flop. But what it does very well when it comes to Game Pass is that it can constantly update within itself. It can get newer players, newer audiences built in there. And it may be one of those games, everybody, that if it were on its own and it was on my PlayStation or it's on PC, and let's just say it's $59.99, is it really a game that we, in general, would go and clamor to say, I'm gonna go pick that up, I'm gonna throw all my money down for a game like Outriders? Because there's always gonna be new things to play. We have new titles, next gen titles that are coming out and so on, and our catalog and our back catalog is so huge. I don't think a game like Outriders for me would be something that I am grabbing day and date, that I want to be able to play and experience had it be just across all platforms and its full retail price. Even at 40 bucks, I probably wouldn't pick it up right away, because a game like that, we have so many of them in the wild that are doing similar things. And frankly, I can play Destiny on my Xbox through Game Pass for free, essentially. So if I'm looking at another shooter, another grind, looter, all of that, I have a lot of options already. And a game like this is something I go, okay, it looks interesting, it looks cool, I want to try it out, but I would normally wait. Now I have more incentive, now I have more reason. I think a lot of players out there have more reasons to be able to pick this up April 1st, throw it on Game Pass, and try it out. And for people that were skeptical and that were on the fence originally, and they're on their PC or they're on their phone, now with it being under Game Pass, it's one more incentive for people to go, well, wait, why would I pay a full price for this when I could pay $20, have Game Pass, and I could try it out there if I'm really eager to play it. 20 bucks for the month, sure, and then I can drop Game Pass if I wanted to. But Microsoft's strategy and what is working is that players get that subscription and they keep it because it can be a gateway. And I think that it gives a lot more love, care, and attention, like I said, to a game like Outriders that will need it, that will need more marketing, more advertising, and to have it splashed up on Game Pass on your home screen when you tap into the store. It's going to be right there. And that's going to get new players to come in, and that's going to get existing Game Pass members to come in and be able to try this thing out. I'm going to be very curious to see what the numbers are for player base across for Outriders when it launches in the first month, as well as how much is it actually making. And I think, and how much of a driver is it going to be for Game Pass. And like I said, with 17, 18 million Game Pass members out there, I think that's a wide enough net to cast for a title like this. It reminds me of like Rocket League when it first came out, and people are kind of going, what is this? What am I doing? It's cool, it's fun, it's got a good hook, and it's turned into the monster and juggernaut that it has. And I think because it had more exclusivity at the beginning and then it was able to branch out, you get a little bit more of like a tighter but wider audience. And with how well and how much push Game Pass has done for the last year and a half, if you are Square and you're looking at, we want to get this title out and we want it to be successful, obviously, and we want to make the most money out of it, and we can add more drops and cosmetics and DLC and things down the road, or we have plans for it, Outriders might be projecting that it might get a couple of million users within the first month or quarter of it releasing. Now with Game Pass, the attractive piece, I think, for so many of these games like this from Square is that it's kind of looking at it going, well, I could get 4 million players that we're kind of projecting, or 6 million players across all platforms, from Android, iOS, to your PC, to your console. We're projecting a couple of mil that we could get out of this and we'd be happy. This is that dangling carrot, I think, that Microsoft is looking at going, hey, you put it on our platform, we'll pay you, we'll give you whatever royalty and revenue for this title, we'll get it exclusively on our platform, and this is our player base, and this is how much of an audience is engaged in newer titles when it comes to Game Pass. It can be very attractive for a company like Square to have a title like this and see it outperform what it may do on its own. So I'm excited and I'm curious to see what keeps happening. This kind of came out of nowhere, where people were kind of pre-ordering the game already, and now they're having to go back and cancel the pre-orders so that they can now get it over on Game Pass. This is going to be interesting to see what happens down the road with future titles, and to see what is going to be kind of the makeup of these one-off title individual games by developers, to see if it's going to work best on Game Pass, and if Microsoft is just really, really good at being able to, and it's something tangible that people want to be able to get. So everybody, what do you think? Do you think that Outriders is going to be successful on launch day for April 1st? Is it a game that you are going to check out, even if it is on Game Pass now? Are you excited for it? Did you have it pre-ordered and now you're getting it for Game Pass? So what is your overall thoughts and opinions on it? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching me. I'm Matt. I'm here on Assemble. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, share, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Check out the Patreon that we have, patreon.com/assemble shows. We just launched and got exclusive content over there every single month. Be a friend, be a pal, go check that out too. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, thank you guys for assembling with us. See ya.